last chapter of the semester, which is great. But you remember what I told you all. This couple of weeks, it's going to go quick, right? I mean, you have this week, which is a regular full week. Next week, we have a delayed start on the Wednesday. So that's kind of, it's a full week, but you have one of the days is a little shorter. And then we have 2 days for Thanksgiving break. And then we have 2 more weeks. And then all of a sudden, here come the final exams, which, it is what it is. I was taking a look. It takes me a while now. You have a lot of grades in the grade book, which is awesome. That's shows a nice reflection of what you do know. You've done a lot of great stuff on Schoology. Those quizzes, they go along with the standards. You guys don't even know that, but it's actually a really good thing. So there's a lot of different neat little tidbits that we as teachers here at the school have on you guys to justify why your grades are what they are. And I think some of you are doing very well. I think some of you, especially if you're a freshman, came in going, wow, this is a whole new place. And all of a sudden it was like 2 weeks were in and then you were playing catch up. And I think a lot of you have done a nice job catching up. I think this class does very well compared to the other CP Algebra 1 classes because of you guys. You guys are awesome. But let's start with linear equations. So linear equations are lines. And we know that. We're going to start doing word problems with lines. Lines, what's something that you know about a line other than it being straight? Could be horizontal and vertical. Good. It can also do what? Intersect. Diagonal. If you have multiple, you could have them intersect. What do we know about a line? It could be a function unless it's what kind of line? No, horizontal is a function. It's a vertical. Vertical. The vertical line test doesn't work when it's a function. With the vertical line test. We can do these with word problems. There's something that we use as a map. What's the map? What's the map in a linear equation? Map, it also starts with M. Slope. Slope. So is slope a point? Is slope a point? No, it's a map to find you a second point. Now, if you just have the slope of a line, that just tells you that there's some line that has a certain pitch to it. But it doesn't tell you anything else. You have to have another point identified. And the other point identified could be an actual, x comma y, finding, laying somewhere in the xy axis. You could know the y-intercept. You could know the x-intercept. There's a lot of different things. But I know that a lot of this, some of the stuff should be review. Some of it might be a little bit new. And one of the big things that we're trying to push is if we had slope or the y-intercept or the x-intercept, we want you to be able to identify that within the context of the problem. Now, if I just gave you 2 points, you found the slope, then you found the equation it goes with, where it crosses the x and y axis doesn't really have a contextual meaning it doesn't go along with the word problem. The slope doesn't have really a meaning other than telling you what it's doing in the y direction over what it's doing in the x direction. Slope can be positive, it can be negative. Slope could be undefined, which is a vertical line. Slope could be 0, which is a horizontal line. So, learning target. I can write an equation, slope-intercept form, by identify the slope and the y-intercept. Cool. All right, warm up. First off, let's remember the slope equation. I'll help you with this. What's the rest? What is it? Anyone remember slope equation? Y equals mx plus b.
y2 minus y1.
Y2 minus y1. X2 minus x1. Those little subscripts, the 2 and the 1s, does that actually have a value to that? No. Why do we have the x2 and the x1 and the y2 and the y1? What is that used for? Doesn't have a numeric value to it. It doesn't have, this doesn't have to be a larger value than this. Yeah.
It shows you what x and what y you use.
So it's a label. So it's just a labeling thing, right? So these are used just to label. So when we come through, it says find the slope of each. So I have 2, -5, 6, 3. If I were to label this, if I just did this, can you tell the difference between x and y? No. So now we're going to use this. And I could have flip-flopped it. It would have made no difference. Just don't have the x1 and the y2 together. Or don't make both of these x1 and x2. So plug them in, figure out the slope. So slope is, well, what's on top?
Minus 5.
What do you mean?
3 minus 5 equals 8. 6 minus 2. 3 minus y.
3 minus 5.
That's 8.
And that's plus, so that's 8, right?
And then 2 minus 6 minus 2.
And then 6 minus 2. Cool.
So m equals 2.
M equals 2. 2 over 1 or just 2, right? Is 2 over 1 the same answer as 2 over 1? And actually, if you write a slope, 2 over 1 would probably be the more acceptable answer because that tells you that in the vertical direction, you're going to go up 2. And if you add it over 1, in the horizontal direction or the x direction, you're going to go over 2. What about this one? So if we label this x, y, and x, y, that doesn't really help us because we need to decipher it. But let's do this. Just to frustrate somebody.
Ooh, you can't do that.
I can't do that?
You can.
I can?
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can.
Yes,
It's alright.
That makes
It's
me
why
throw
I
up.
want mine too for purpose.
Yeah, it's like there.
So hang on, wait a minute. So you're telling me that if I plug it this way, if I do this way,
Well, you're gonna get the same answer.
am I?
Yes,
No?
you are.
Yes, you
Okay.
are.
Hang on. Well, hang on.
Yeah, hold on.
We have an argument here. So you mean to tell me that
I'll
this,
bet you $50 on this.
$50. All right, we got gambling.
I don't have $50.
All right, ready? Here we go.
$10.
Let's take a look. Now it's down to 10. Okay.
Okay, I'll bet
If I do it this way, what do I get? 2 minus 5 and 6 minus 0. So I get -3 over 6. And there is no way that those are the same thing. Because you know what? The negative's on top on one of them and it's on bottom on
It's
the
still
other.
the same thing though.
Oh, it is. That's right.
No, it's not.
What's up?
It is.
Ashley, are you really gonna argue?
Because up to and down.
Okay, watch. Ready? All right. If I have just a over b, and it's negative like that. So that's like if you would find it in a textbook, right? You agree? So we find it like this a lot of times because that's comfortable for us. But this is the exact same thing. So it doesn't really matter where you have the negative. Now we accept to put it up on top because some elementary school teacher at some point said put it up on top. With no other reason than to say just put it up on top so you know what it's doing in the y direction
I
first.
never.
But you knew the answer. So you had heard it from someplace.
Well,
It wasn't just from me. So somebody taught you, right? But you were right, Gentry. You're the one who nailed it. So you're right. So this is all good. So these are the exact same thing. Of course, they can reduce it to -1/2 or 1 over -2. Okay. So that's just new stuff. Now these are written in this form. What is this form called? Slope-intercept, right? So the slope is your m value, and the intercept is your b value. And I've been trying to guide you on not just telling me the b value, but telling me the y-intercept as a point, because the y-intercept is indeed a point. Okay, so the slope, you know, is m. That's pretty straightforward. But the y-intercept should be written as 0, comma, b, whatever that b value is.
So do we have to write it up with parentheses form or could we just put like one?
I think parentheses is an important way to do it.
Like what?
I like doing
have
it.
to write or wrong?
Like 0, 6 or like 6?
Like okay, with 65, it would have to be 0.
Where are you getting 6?
Well, I'm
No, we're not.
Oh.
That was just an example.
Oh, I think it's important that you identify. Well, no, it is two different things. No, it is your b value, but your b value is a point, 0, comma, b.
But would you
So-
count it wrong if we just put 6?
I really want to guide you to get it correct.
But
And know that
is
it's-
that still correct? Like
Yeah.
6?
It is technically correct, yes,
But would
but
you mark it
but-
wrong?
well,
Would
you're
you
gonna
mark
see
it wrong?
you're gonna see why it's gonna be incorrect here in a little
Why is
bit.
it?
I'm just gonna show
Is it
you.
wrong? Like, would you, is that
Trust
wrong?
me.
Is it wrong?
Wait, but would you count it wrong on the test?
Like,
if
if
it's 6?
For the two of you, yes. Everyone else, no.
All
right. What is my slope of number 3?
Negative
Negative
2.
Negative 2. We could also have it as negative 2 or negative 2 over 1. It's your choice how you want to have that written. Or you could have it a 2 over negative 1 if you wanted to. What is my b value? What's my b value? 1. So what is the point? What's the point? 0, comma 1. All right. Okay. What about number 4? Is it set up in slope-intercept form? What form is it?
Standard form.
Standard form. Good. This is standard form. So if this is set up in standard form, and I'll just abbreviate it. If it's set up in standard form, what you really do want to do is you want to try and get it back into slope-intercept form, meaning you want to get y all by itself. Help me out. What should I do to get y all by itself? I want y to stand alone. Cover method would totally find you where it crosses the x and the y-axis. Absolutely, 100%. And you know what, if I said, I want you just to graph this, you would be totally legit. And you could even find the slope from that too. But how would I put this in slope-intercept form? Add 5x? Agree, everybody? Can I combine 5x and 10 together?
Yes. Oh wait, no, you
Ooh.
No. What's my last step?
You divide 5. I mean, divide 2.
Divide everything by 2? Okay. Reduce where you can, so cancel. Can I keep it as an improper fraction?
can't.
Where'd you get?
Oh, for the slope, I just got negative. 'Cause I covered.
Okay.
And
And I'm going to show you, not right in a second, but I'm going to eventually show you how to get the slope when you do the cover method.
Okay.
What's my slope here?
5 over
5 over 2. What's my b value?
5.
5, which as a point is what? What's the point?
0, 5.
0, comma 5, because that's where it crosses the y-axis.
There's a difference.
Okay? So I kind of have a lot of writing all around this. Here's my next problem right here. We'll do in red. Those of you who can't see the difference between green and red, you're just seeing some sort of brown tone, I guess. So, what kind of line is this? I know it's straight. What kind?
Vertical line.
Vertical line?
No,
Undefined.
Horizontal line? Undefined?
Undefined.
Horizontal
Oh,
and
no,
vertical.
yeah, it's
Raise your hand if you think
horizontal,
it's vertical.
Ooh, you
Horizontal? It's horizontal, right?
Yeah.
Right? So y equals horizontal. So this is a horizontal line. So a horizontal line has what for a slope?
0.
0. Good? If it was a vertical line, what would the slope be? Undefined. Okay? Okay, here's a trick question. What is my b value here? 4. And so what's my 0, comma 4?
Yeah.
All right, let's extend this a little bit. Let's extend that. So y equals 4. Let's investigate this for a second. Y equals 4. Is this the same thing if I were to say this? Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So if you're like on a test and you see like a question that's asking you like y equals 4, would you want us to like actually show where we're at, but like since it's a simple.
Since it's simple, yeah,
Yeah.
you can
just
you
bring
can
it up.
answer questions pretty easily off of it. I just put all the things down just so, in case you see it your way, which is perfect, and then other people see it their way, which might involve some work, which is also perfect.
So
Perfection.
So x
Hey.
equals 1 and then the n equals 1.
Is this the same as this?
Yes, it is.
It is.
So what is the slope of the y equals 0x plus 4? 0. What is the slope of our original? So they're the same?
Yeah.
So what is 0 times m? M's normally a fraction. It could be a whole number, right?
0.
So 0 times some number is
0.
0. So are those the same thing?
Yes.
Exactly the same thing. Question answer.
Okay, so say it's like x equals 4, would it be like n equals 4 and b equals 0? Would it be like at the intercept would be the 4?
Say that one more time.
Okay, so if it was like x equals 4, would it be n equals 4 and x, or b, wait, yeah, n equals 4 and b equals 0?
Oh, let's choose a better color than that. Let's go next
That's a
slide.
straight line.
I got lucky. You guys know that.
That was actually a really straight line.
I got lucky. You guys know that. Let's see. Graph, quadrant. All right. Whoops.
Wrong one, right?
I always do that, don't I? Graph. We want Cartesian. There we go. All right. So the question was, if I had x equals 4, was that your answer?
So with the origin, the first point?
Okay. Oh, the origin, the first point. Okay. What kind of line is this? It's straight. I agree.
It's a vertical.
It is a vertical line. It is a vertical line.
It's
So we have a slope that is what?
Undefined.
Undefined. So, and the reason the slope is undefined is because we divide by 0, and you have explored your calculators enough that if you go 5 divided by 0, it says error, and you probably discovered that a long time ago when you were a little kid going, why is that? Okay? But this is a vertical line. It's a vertical line right here. That's a vertical line, right?
Yeah.
So question, does it go through 0, 0? No. Does it cross the y-axis? No, it only crosses the x-axis. So what is my b value here? No, b value would be 0 there.
4.
Okay, b value is where does it cross the y-axis?
Zero, it's
0.
No, it's nothing.
Undefined. Infinity. Wait, it doesn't cross it.
It doesn't cross, right?
Undefined
Does
solution. No.
not cross. Does, so some people like this,
Can we put no
does
solution?
not exist, does not cross,
Can you put no solution?
DNC.
no solution, DNC. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can do it. Just, so things I will tell you, if you put your b value is 0, you're going to get it wrong. Why would I say that? If your b value, if you said, hey, what is the b value? You said 0.
Because it doesn't cross it.
Right, because this is where, if you're saying this, my b value is 0, that's where you're saying it crosses. But it doesn't cross there. Okay? So, but if you were to put on there, what is the b value? 0 times, or does not exist, or it does not cross, or something like that. Tell me, don't put b equals 0, because b equals 0 means it's crossing right here. This is definitely not going to cross right there. Can we go back to our notes? Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Sweet. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Equation of line, y equals mx plus b. A lot of times we really like to focus on this because, one, the graphing calculators that you all should be getting or should be starting to learn how to use, that's how your graphing calculator accepts your problem. Okay, y equals mx plus b. Okay, if you go into the graphing part, you hit graph and it has y equals. It says y1, y2, y3, y4, because you can plot a whole bunch of them. Okay, so this is where we try and direct you saying, go here because your calculator works. So m is the slope and b is the y-intercept where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so it's important that you know this. The y-intercept is 0, comma b. Okay? I want you to realize that it is a point. And the reason I say that is because I've said that your slope is a map and your slope is not a point. So in order to use your slope to find a second point, you have to have one point defined. If you say, my y-intercept is b, that's great, but please understand that b, 0, b, is an actual point. If you said b equals 6 doesn't really mean a point. I mean, yes, in the context of it, it's sure, you're right. Saying b, that's y-intercept. It was where it works. Why do they call the y-intercept b? I don't know. I wasn't at that meeting. They didn't invite me. No, they keep leaving me out of stuff and saying, no, just kidding. Are we clear here? So again, I really want you from here on out to start identifying where it crosses the y-axis as a point. And I'm telling you that in preparation for you all to eventually one day, when you get to college, to take calculus. And I recommend calculus. Calculus is a beautiful math class. Okay? It's okay that you're not on the path to take calculus here at the high school level. It's totally fine. Calculus exists at the college level too. But when you get to college, things that you have to understand is there's certain things that we're showing you here at the algebraic level, which are in the pre-calc levels, that will lead directly to calculus and make calculus a lot easier. Calculus is a relatively easy course as long as you are good with algebra. And you know when algebra gets easy? When you're good at arithmetic.
What's that?
Okay? That's add, subtract, multiply, and divide, right?
Oh.
But a lot of you are afraid of the F word, fractions.
Oh, yeah.
I hate fractions.
I know. Why? Because they were different. And again, I told you how when I learned fractions when I was in elementary school, my teacher always used the pizza analogy. And yeah, I was with you. I'm like, dude, I love pizza. And then I'd start talking to my buddy saying, I like Little Caesars best, but this other place is better, and this is better, and I like pepperoni on mine. And then the teacher's already done with the problem. I didn't even watch the problem because I was more concerned about what the best pizza was out there than anything else. You guys might have been there too. All right, give the equation of the following lines in slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's use this. Okay, so is there information up here that we know?
Yes.
Oh, the y-intercept is
Give me this as a point though.
0.
So this is right here is the point 0, -3. So this value goes where?
To the b.
To the b. All right, so now we know this. Agree?
Yes.
Why is it negative?
Because it's
Yeah, it crosses down there, right? All right. We now need to figure out the slope. So we need to find another point up here. Find another point. That is a point right there, but that crosses like,
yeah, it doesn't cross like.
and then here, and here. I don't. Does that look like an okay point?
Yeah.
Like a whole number, Okay, so what does the slope do? Does it go in the y direction first or the x direction? Does it go up or down first, or does it go right or left first? It goes up or down. So from here, I'm going to count. I'm going to go up 1. I'm going to go up 2. Agree?
Yes.
So I went up 2. Just put that. And then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. What's my slope?
2/3.
2/3, and it's positive because I went up and right. So this is now my slope. It goes right here. So I have y equals 2/3x minus 3. So, hey, did I use the slope equation to find the slope? Indirectly, I did. I mean, I didn't go y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, did I? I went in the y direction, and then I went in the x direction. So I went from one point, I went up, which is positive, and then I went from there to the right, which is also positive. So does everyone feel comfortable that this is the equation of this line? So I found where it crossed the y-axis, the y-intercept, 0 comma b. I used that as my starting point. Then I used my slope equation, which is a map. And I have to go in the y direction first, and then I go in the x direction. Can I try another one? Okay. So again, we want to use this, y equals mx plus b. Somebody other than Gentry, tell me where it crosses the y-axis, because Gentry's got this.
4.
4. So what point is this?
0, 4.
0, 4. So that's my b value. My b value goes right here. So I have y equals mx plus 4. Hey, why is it positive 4?
Because crosses above.
It crosses above the x-axis. There's a positive number. Okay? So let's find a second point. So this is, does this look like a point right here?
Yeah.
Is that a point? Is that a point?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a point all the way down here as well. Do you agree?
Yes.
So let's just do this for make sure we're good. So I'm going to go down. I'm going in the y direction first, so I'm going down. So what do you think that means?
Negative.
Negative 2. And then I'm going to go over. Oh, wait, I went down too much.
Negative 1.
Negative 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go over this way. 1, 2. So I get negative 1 over 2. Now, hang on. What if you were the student that found this, which is where it crosses the x-axis, which the cover method would work on this? Yes?
We go down 4.
So if I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, so I went down 4, still with me?
Yeah.
And then I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You just have to reduce.
Just have to reduce. Is it the same answer?
Yes.
So if you didn't see this first point right away and you saw this and that was your go-to, you're still going to get the problem right. These are equivalent fractions. One's not reduced. Okay, so my equation of my line is going to be y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 4. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this type of line would have been the cover method, because the cover method allows us to find where it crosses the x-axis, where it crosses the y-axis. The cover method works when it's in standard form. Okay. This graph looks a little tiny different than this graph, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay. Not all graphs are coming on the exact same. We saw different graphs on the last Schoology assignment, right? And that's okay. In which I'm a little disappointed in a couple of you. A couple of you said, I didn't get Schoology done. Can you reopen it? So I reopened it for Sunday night.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one that didn't do it. So I reopened it for you. So I come in this morning at about 5 after 5. I log on to Schoology saying, sweet, let's grade. Why did I reopen Schoology? You didn't even have homework this weekend. Some of you who did it, awesome. Good for you. You did it when the due date was, and some of you, others of you, I reopened it because you didn't get it done or didn't do it. I gave you 2 extra days. No math homework, and you didn't do it. So then what the next question is, hey, will you reopen it so I can do it tonight? No, it's too late. You had a deadline, I extended it, and you still didn't meet it. Fortunately, it's only a 4-point quiz, so it's not going to bury someone's grade, but if you continue to miss all those Schoologies, shame, shame. Grade drops. All right, this is a straight line. It's a horizontal line. Where does it cross the y-axis?
3.
Yeah, that's at the point 0, 3. Agreed?
Yes.
What's my slope? It doesn't go up or down at all, does it? So how much does it go in the y direction? How much does it go in the y direction, or the x direction? It has a certain numeric value that it will go right or left. I mean, you plug whatever value you want. So what's 0 divided by number? 0. 0 on top means slope is 0. Okay? So y equals mx plus b. So y equals 0x plus 3. 0 times x is? 0 times x is? 0. So my equation is y equals 3. Which answer is correct? Is y equals 3 more correct than y equals 0x plus 3? I'd say they're the exact same thing. Same amount of points. If I had a multiple choice test, this might be one that says mark all that apply, so this applies as well. I would not have a multiple choice having this as my answer and this is one of the choices where this is the only correct answer. They both are the same. Okay? I actually like y equals 0x better because it shows that you have an understanding. Okay. Oh. Types of problem writing equations of lines. So, let's focus on, I'm going to start with this because this is our main focus. Agree? So I have a slope of 1/2 and a y-intercept of 2. So the y-intercept written as 2, this is 0, 2. Agree? So plug in. How do I make it work? What's my m value? Y equals what? 1/2 x plus 2. Hey, quick question. I've seen this happen a lot. When I say what's the slope of the line, about half of you will tell me 1/2. You want to know what the other half tell me? The slope's 1/2 x. The slope is a fraction. It's a number. It doesn't have an x attached to it. So if you told me the slope is 1/2 x, that would be a 2-point problem. I'm taking a point off. Because the slope does not have the, yes, it's attached to x, but the x doesn't go along with it. Okay? What about this next problem? Number 2. Goes through 2, 5 and 0, -3. Wait a minute. What is 0, -3? Abby, what do you think? 0, -3.
It's the second x to x.
It is? What else is it?
Well, there's y-intercept in
Okay, Gentry, what's 0, -3 to you? What? Say it. You just said it, I think. It's your y-intercept. How do I know it's a y-intercept? Because I told you, write the y-intercept as a point. 0, -3 is what? It's a point. Let's find the y-intercept. This is right now the y-intercept. Okay, which is our b value, right? Okay, so that tells me this right now. Yeah, but mister, I don't know what the slope is. I don't know what you don't know what the slope is. Well, I know the slope equation's this. Do you agree? And I can use the slope equation because I have 2 points that are given to me. One of those points happens to be the y-intercept, which is great, but I know x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in. So -3 minus 5. And then 5. Oh, wait, what is it? 0 minus 2. Boy, that's Monday. So that's -8 on top, agree? What's on bottom?
-2.
What's -8 over -2? 4. +4. Do I have enough information to solve my problem now? Yeah, what's my equation?
y equals 4x minus 3.
Y equals 4x minus 3. Okay. I like it. What do you think? So up here, we knew the y-intercept was this. Here, we knew the y-intercept was this. They mean the same thing because 0, a 0, a number is our y-intercept. And then we got to use our slope equation. I like it. Is that, you just need number 2?
Yeah.
Try number 3, see if you can figure that out. We have a point, 2, -1. It's a little different. and we have a slope of 3. So use y equals mx plus b. See if you can figure it out. See if you can mull around. Use y equals mx plus b. See if we can figure it out. We don't know what the y-intercept is at this point. Okay. Okay. Let's figure it out. What's 2 comma negative 1? No, it's not a slope. It's a point. The slope is 3, right?
Yeah.
So the go-tos that you know, if you use y equals mx plus b, would be y equals 3x plus b, right? Because I know this. Bless you. I'm just using this, right? So here's my go-to equation. Things I know is y equals 3x plus b. We need to find b. What do we know? I know what, Stephen?
Y and X.
I know a y and an x, or an x and a y value. I know a point, right?
Yeah.
So, Stephen, I think you're on something here. This is an x and a y value. Is it x1 and y1? I only have a single point up there, right? So do I have to label it x1, y1? x2, y2? Yep, do what? I like your thinking. If you knew this point, you could graph this right now as it sits. But we don't know where the equation is. So I do know an x and a y value, and I know that y equals 3x plus b. No, because 2 comma negative 1. I mean, perhaps it could be, but I don't know at this point. So I know 2 comma 1, which is an x and a y value. I know I have y equals 3x plus b. I knew the slope was 3. What is information that is y equals 3x plus b? Can I plug anything into that right now from my problem? Yeah, I'm going to take my point here, and I'm going to plug those values in. So what's my y value from that point? What's my y value? Negative 1. The 3 stays as is. What's going to go in for x? 2. What's my b value? We're trying to find it, right? So look, I took my equation, I took my x, y values, I plugged them in. Let's do the arithmetic. What am I trying to solve for? B. How do I get b all alone from right here? Subtract 6 from both sides. So negative 1 minus 6 is? Do I have enough information to plug back into my... So what's my equation? Y equals 3x plus negative 7, which is just the same thing as minus 7. So I took things that I knew, I plugged them in. Okay, I didn't have to label it x1, y1 because I only had a single point that I was worried about. So the 2 main equations I've hit so far is our slope equation, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and y equals mx plus b. Okay? So I can use y equals mx plus b, and I know what the slope is because the slope is our 0 comma b, or our b value. Whoop! I went too far. What do you know about 4 comma 0? Is that where it crosses the y-axis? That's where it crosses the x-axis. So this is the x-axis crossing. So this isn't working as nicely for us. So let's do our go-to. Let's find our slope. Okay. What should we do with these points now? X1, Y1, and X2, Y2. Agree? Okay. So let's plug these in. So I get 0
minus
-3
3
over
over
4
minus
minus 2. Is that right? Did I do that math right?
Plus.
So that's -3 over 6, which reduces to. So what's my slope? Okay. Cool. I know my slope. So I have y equals mx plus b. What do I know so far about this problem because of what I just did?
Y equals 1/2.
There you go. Y equals -1/2 x plus b. I need to find my b value. I have x1, y1. I have x2, y2. What looks like an easy one to plug in? 4 comma 0. You got a 0 in there. Anytime you got a 0, that should be pretty easy. So perhaps I choose this right here and plug it in. Oh, that colors it in too much. Let's just go with highlighter. That's pretty easy to plug in. This one isn't quite as easy to plug in, but we could pick either one of them. It's going to come out to the exact same value because 2 points define one line. These 2 points only define exactly one line. There's no other lines that it will define. Okay, so I'm picking this one because it looks easier. We have a 0 value. Okay, so I'm just going to call this, my x value. I'm going to call this my y value. I don't need to have the subscripts in there any longer because I'm just going to plug it back in here. So I have 0, it's my y, right? Equals -1/2. What's my x? 4. And I don't know my b value. What's half of 4? 2. What's negative half of 4? -2. How do I get b all by itself? Add 2. Goes right there. So what's my equation? Y equals? Done. You like? So again, we could have chosen the other value. And if we went through the math and did it, we'd still get b equals 2. Because 2 points identify exactly one line, we were given 2 points. So that should work. Can I move off the screen? Are these my last 2? 3?
Yeah.
In there? Oh yeah, that's my real straight line that I was. All right. Oh. Ooh.
What? The first one doesn't make sense.
Oh wait, you do?
Can you what does this mean?
It's a function.
It is a function. It's written as functional notation. So it's normally written as this. Agree? Right? So what am I plugging in right here on that problem? 0. What is this letter here? So I have 0, comma. What's my output? 3. What point does this one go to? Comma. That means the exact same thing. 0, comma 3. Help me out. Is that where it crosses the x-axis or the y-axis?
Y-axis.
Y-axis. Oh, sweet. This is where it crosses the y-axis. So where it crosses the y-axis is known as what letter? B. Agreed? My b value is right there. So now I know y equals mx plus b. I know y equals mx plus 3. What do I know this to be?
Point.
It's a point, so that's an x and y value. And if I take my xy value and plug it into here, what am I looking for? Slope. So I have 2 equals m times 1 plus 3. What's 1 times m? 1m, which is m. How do I get my slope by itself? M by itself. Subtract 3, so I get? if I subtracted 3 from both sides. Cool? Do I have enough information to decipher this? Yeah, it's y equals negative x or negative 1x, depending on how you want to put it, plus 3. Last problem. We're almost done. I think it's done. Oh, is there one more after that? Oh, okay. All right. Do I have my x or do I have my y-intercept on either of those? No. So I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So what should I do at that point? Find the slope first. Someone's got Siri going. 10 minus 4, negative 1 minus 2. 10 minus 4, help me out. 6 over negative 3, which is? Negative 2. So y equals negative 2x plus b, because our y equals mx plus b, yes? Don't even pack up yet. We're almost done. What do I know? What am I trying to find here? The b value, right? So I know. Which one would be good to pick? Highlighter. Is this one or is this one?
The first one.
Yeah, either one, you pick.
Green.
Okay, so we'll take the green one, 2 comma 4. So 2 comma 4 is an x and a y value, agree? So I have 4 equals negative 2 times 2 plus b. 4 equals negative 4 plus b. Help me. Add 4.
0.
Add 4. You're close. Went the wrong way. So what is my equation?
Y
equals 2x plus 8.
Y equals negative 2x plus 8. Very, very last question. It's a quick one. What's our slope?
0.
0. So m equals 0. So y equals mx plus b. Still with me?
Yes.
This is an x. This is a y value. Still with me?
Yes.
3 equals 0 times 4 plus b.
0.
So b is equal to?
0.
B is equal to?
3.
3. Cool. B is equal to 3. So y equals mx plus b. I know my slope is 0. Yes?
Yes.
So y equals 0x plus 3, which is the same thing as y equals 3, which is a horizontal line. Which answer is best for you? I don't know. Your homework is page 111, 112, which is worksheet 4.1. Okay? This week, it looks like we don't have any tests or quizzes. We will have a review, but we have a lot of this we're doing, so don't let this get behind. Some of you are starting to get on the vacation mode, and when I come around and look at homework, you're like, oh, I forgot it. Adios.